Good afternoon, Rhonda.
Good afternoon, Kanta.
It is so good to see you in this time. I haven't been able to see you as we all haven't been able to see each other in
Yes,
person and to hug and touch and, just to greet
and
each other
chair
like we normally would greet
massage.
each other. So it is lovely to see. And our role this afternoon is to share with you, our viewers, whether it be camp or non-camp members, how we as massage and bodywork practitioners, sorry, should be operating in this pandemic time. So we are sharing our protocols for our back to work with you this afternoon. So, Rhonda, you have any questions before we start?
So, how did the lockdown affect our industry? From my point of view, we were all kind of caught off guard.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I mean, like the rest of like everybody else, it has been a tough time of adjustment and just trying to keep our businesses going, our clients feeling secure and supported, and
So
still
true.
trying to provide our high standard of care in spite of all that is going on around us.
So how has business changed for you since our industry has reopened? And I think that was June the 8th was when we reopened.
Yes. So initially it was kind of uncertain because even though the industry was open, um, business would have been climbing very slowly.
Mm-hmm.
We were still adapting to the financial issues that all of us would have experienced pre, due to the lockdown. Um, but business has been building into the new normal slowly, I think, for all of us. Um, some therapists have had to find new treatment spaces while others are still awaiting updates on the way forward from the spa or the clinics that they're employed with.
Mm-hmm.
Many clients are still out of the country waiting on return flights, and some clients have chosen not to book due to financial constraints or uh, abundance of caution as to having going out to a clinic or having a therapist come to their home.
Mm-hmm. And I've
Um,
realized that for the clients who still can afford it and they still need, they are aware that they need our services during this time, this is where having our pandemic protocols, in place and practicing it is going to be so helpful, and it's going to not just encourage them, but make them more confident and comfortable with having a therapist coming out to whether it be their home or their office, wherever it has to be.
correct.
Yeah, so I can say if we're looking at what has changed with regard to those therapists who work at a spa or have a spot at their own home,
Hmm.
they've had the client waiting rooms have been arranged or rearranged to accommodate, and they're distancing clients, between, I believe it's 6 feet
Between appointments,
separating.
yeah.
Yeah, so while they're waiting to do their treatment or fill out their intake forms, or they're waiting for pickup after their
Right, that
treatments,
there's no overlap.
right? And then also appointments, yes, we're staggering them more now. So we have been putting in more time or allowing more time between appointments to make sure that you have enough time to sanitize, enough time to get yourself sanitized, not just your space sanitized. So to
Correct,
decrease the likelihood of, the client overlap and to accommodate, as I said, the increased cleaning protocols.
correct. Um, what about some of the things that we might have removed?
Hmm. I don't, my main business is um, house visits. So, but I am aware that people who have their spaces, they have removed cushions, um, they have removed test sample products. So if you had a space, a workspace where you have items uh, either for sale, but you have your display items, they would remove those from your waiting areas. Porous fabric or furniture. So you want something they've been using more hard plastic if you can, something that you could wipe or
Right, things that
sanitize
easy to wipe
easier.
down. Hmm.
Magazines, books, constant
Yeah,
touching up. Those
right.
have been removed. as well as self-serve items. Some places have, you will see treat jars, water dispenser cups, and now they manage them more closely to make sure
Right.
you avoid any cross-contamination. And
Of course.
yeah. Oh, and also, if you are coming to an appointment, if we have been asking clients to just come by themselves if possible.
Right.
Don't bring the whole
Mhm.
entourage, because it means that more individuals in the space, in
Right.
the
Less
area.
interaction, less likelihood of
Correct.
spread.
It's all about distancing right now.
Excellent. Um,
So what would you
things,
say have we added? Because we
um,
mentioned what we have removed.
well, while cleaning and sanitation has always been part of our practice, and we've always practiced very stringent cleaning, sanitization of our tools, etc.
Mhm.
One of the main things we've had to add, of course, was ensuring that both the therapists and the clients wear their face coverings. The exceptions that we have to make, it, especially in terms of massage, is when the client is lying prone or face down on the table. Depending on the client's comfort levels, we may have to ask them to, they can remove the mask while they're face
Mhm.
down, so that we can do that treatment. But once they turn over, then they'll have to reapply their mask before they turn over, and we start interacting with
And
them
just one
face up.
point to add to that, for the individuals who feel, I guess, claustrophobic, if you are lying prone, there's always the option where they have their
Outside.
face on the side, but then
Correct.
it's advisable
Until
to
we
have
have
your
both
mask
on their
there.
neck. Correct. We've added signage reminding people to wash their hands or to sanitize, as well as signs have gone up reminding you how to properly wash your hands. We've added hand washing stations or sanitization stations, depending on what we can facilitate at the spa or the clinic. A lot of therapists, bodyweight practitioners have added barriers. So you may see, rather than your normal linen setup, some people have added disposable sheets,
Mm-hmm.
um, disposable face cradle covers, paper towels, that kind of thing that we could just throw out, rather than, to kind of decrease that having to wash and put away things. Um, we've added, and normally when we sanitize between clients, we would focus on the table, the face cradle, the stool in the room, that kind of thing. Now we there's a lot more focus on the doors, the doorknobs, the door frames. Probably added cleaning of the floors, the sinks, like anything that clients would touch that would normally have been cleaned maybe at the end of the day, or beginning and end of the day kind of thing. We've added cleanings in between, just to add that decrease that interaction between clients.
And what about window coverings? Would it be drapes or
Yes, we've
blinds?
also, many clients have started like steaming or spraying down with a cleaning agent, a Lysol, a rubbing alcohol, that sort of thing, just to make sure. Air fresheners have been used. Some clients have added things like air purifiers to the room.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I mean, the rugs have also added sanitization regimens to those, in order to, minimize the spread and to decrease the likelihood of spores in the air from one person to the next.
True. True.
What are some of the things that we've updated?
Well, we at camp, our priority is protecting ourselves, right? And protecting ourselves, protecting you, our clients, protecting us, our families, while we're continuing to provide our high standard environment. So, what has you asked me what updated procedures, correct?
Yeah,
I just had a brain moment, excuse. So, if possible, sessions are now scheduled to be conducted in fresh air, or you have air filters placed in your workroom,
right.
and
Especially
or
if you have air
purifiers, as you
conditioning that don't
mentioned.
have windows that's open. Yeah.
Right, as you mentioned before, the air filters or the purifiers, they have been added to the treatment rooms. Pre-screening protocols have been adapted to access um, exposure risks prior to booking appointments. So you're trying to screen before you actually go to
Before they come in,
see
right?
the client,
Before you
right?
go to them.
Um, and when you get there, additional questions have also been added to your normal intake form, right? Reception of walk-in appointments have been put on hold for those individuals who have people come to them, right?
Right.
Pre-screening calls have been added, as I mentioned, to be booked when you're booking your procedures. So that's in case of when if you have sent a pre-screening form, whether it be by email to your client, if it has not been returned prior to your appointment date, you can
Right.
always contact them beforehand. Just like how you call to confirm, or you
Right.
send your confirmation notice, you check, where's my pre-screening form.
Yes, please remember to send back the pre-screening form
Correct.
so we
And then
can
of course,
confirm your appointment.
and then the therapist, they will also take extra time, or at least, we should be taking extra time to explain any new protocols that are necessary, including the clients wearing of their mask as they arrive or as we get there for their appointments, as well as
Right.
we coming, we explain why we are wearing masks.
Right, and we also have to explain like what are the new procedures in your room, if you have a particular area to put your clothes, if you have a particular area to put your shoes, so that when we go into the room after they've changed and they've gotten ready and laid on the table, that everything is in place and we don't have to fiddle and adjust anything of this.
Yes. So what for you, or you may have seen, whether you did it on your forms or you may have seen on some other forms, what are some questions that you think can be added to your COVID, your pandemic screening form?
Some of the newer questions that I have personally added, and I'm sure many other places, many other therapists have added, would be you'd see things like have you had a fever in the last 24 hours? Do you know anyone who has recently had any respiratory or flu-like symptoms, sore throat, shortness of breath, etc.? Have you been in contact with anyone over the last 14 days who may have come into the country or who may have shown any signs of symptoms or may have been diagnosed with COVID-19? You would be reminded that you must wear your mask before entering the premises. Your therapist is going to have on her mask and be ready for you when you come in or when he or she comes to your home. So things like that is the basic things that you're going to see. What you may also see, they may tell you that getting your temperature taken upon entry or upon us entering their home. You may see they may let you know that your temperature is going to be taken to add it to your form, etc. Just as an added barrier, an added check to ensure that.
Have you, in operating, been to a client and they have taken your temperature before you came in?
Oh, I have been to a client where I have had my temperature taken. I had one client in particular who made me wear a full hazmat suit. I am talking full, long sleeve, long pants, vinyl suit with a face shield and a mask before I could come into their house.
And how was that? Or where was that removed, or how was it disposed, when you were finished with your appointment?
The client actually volunteered to dispose of the hazmat suit for me. But it was definitely a unique experience in that aspect. And I mean, I had no issue complying with a client request like that because I know how things are going. You're going to see doctor, so you want to make sure that you protect yourself and your family as much as possible.
Yes.
So practitioner preparedness has been kind of stepped up in terms of when we go to the client or when we book an appointment, we have had to make extra time for cleaning before, making sure everything is in place before the client gets there or when you get to the client. Many of us have started sanitizing the setup itself before the client actually comes and interacts with you. Hygiene protocols, our very strict hygiene protocols are still customary. We really haven't made any major changes to our schedule apart from adding, cleaning times. What some of the things that we've used to prepare would be like um, cough etiquette. So we provide tissues in case, if you have a cough, ideally you should reschedule your appointments. But
Please,
like
please.
people cough for other reasons. Sometimes they come in and just change their environment. If the window is open, if the person has sinuses, something like that. So everything is not to panic about if it's not a constant thing, but we have put things in place to protect us and protect you against
True,
things like that.
true.
So you'd probably see that the therapist has put out like a tissue for you to open the door, or they will probably open the door for you.
Yes.
A lot of no-touch receptacles have been installed, whether it's to pull the paper towel or to get your sanitizer, etc. Definitely, we will have on our masks before we enter the person's premises, or before they come to us. Our mask is going to be in place
To further protect them and as well as yourself.
Correct. We're also probably going to send you a little reminder. Hey, remember you have to put on your mask if you're coming to the spa. Or I'm outside. I'm getting out to the car. Remember you have to put on your mask if your family is there.
Yes.
Remind them that they need to also keep their distance from us, as well as if they have to interact with us, that they too have to wear their masks. As always, we have basic things that we usually do. We keep our hair up and away from our faces. Short nails, no jewelry, closed-toe shoes. Some of us have started wearing, we've added a barrier, so maybe a therapist might have on a particular, like an overcoat or an apron, something like that to protect their clothes. Or therapists, if you're in a spa, will probably change their clothes between appointments if, they see that as necessary. We're gonna, very likely, your practitioner is gonna avoid shaking your hands and the, oh my God, I see it so long, the hug up, which I know we all miss, but just to make sure that we're protecting us and you, we have kind of stopped. We have now avoided doing things like that. Your practitioner may also decrease the casual conversation, especially when you're in that treatment environment. Conversation will likely be kept to a minimum, normally on the table, and you're talking to your client, hey, how was your week? Apart from things related to the session, if you have a pain, let me know if the pressure is okay, that kind of thing. There'll be minimal conversation. Not a COVID cough.
I think this sounds like a need to drink water kind of cough.
Yeah, that's like a talking plenty kind of cough.
Yeah. All right, well.
And as usual, things like the linens are removed, they're folded inside out, placed into a garbage bag or a lined liner if you're in a spa. So, the changes really to me haven't been major. So things like that are what you'll probably see changing at your clinic.
So with all these changes, we really have to prepare, not just preparing our client for what is to come, mask wearing, more increased sanitization, but we have to prepare ourselves before we go. So we have to make sure certain things are in our work bags or work containers, however you're transporting your items that you're using. And
especially those like me and you who doing house calls.
Yes. So for one, your work bag, your mobile work bag or whatever you use, it should contain the following. It should contain sheets for session, or you ask the client whether or not they want to provide their own. I know that for some clients, certain clients, they would be really appreciative of that. And those who say, no, go ahead, use your
because
your
some
own
people
linens.
getting that oil out of your sheet is not a picnic. So some people be like, nah, it's fine. And when we do put on our sheets, I like me personally, I would spray the entire setup with rubbing alcohol just as an added precaution so that they could relax.
Two thumbs up for that point. So that's actually for those individuals or for those of us who we don't even do that, even though we're using our own linens. That tip that Rhonda just said is a good tip to add to your protocol list. Spraying your linens after you open it out on the table with, what do you say, rubbing alcohol?
Rubbing alcohol, yeah. I have a bottle of rubbing alcohol. I just spray the entire setup just for that added sanitization before the client comes in.
Right. You should put that in the quiz, a quiz question. What else your work bag should contain? You can use garbage bags for putting your used sheets in. The spray bottle with the clean agent.
Definitely.
Rhonda with the
I
spray
have
bottle
two.
with
I
rub and
have the
alcohol.
spray bottle to clean the table and the rub and
Oh,
alcohol to sanitize everything.
two sets, good.
So I have two
Um,
sets.
your paper towels or your wipes, your cleansing wipes, your hand soap, your hand sanitizer, and for those therapists prefer to take their tools home and sanitize, make sure to have a bag to put those items. And if you
Yeah,
are
I mean,
sanitizing, cleansing those items before you leave your appointment space, whether it be at the client's home, you make sure you walk with your hand soap or your sanitizer or whatever you need to clean, whether it be your cups, your bamboo tools, whatever equipment you're using to
right.
sanitize before you
So
leave
in
that.
my bag, I have a container with like a finger brush,
Right.
a sponge, and like this like Dawn, that type of dish soap. So if it has oil or anything on it, and I just wash everything,
Mm-hmm.
I dry it and then I spray it with the rubbing alcohol again before I pack it away. And then when I unpack it at the clients, I spray it again just to make sure that there's no kind of cross contamination between clients or with me. So I don't carry home anything to my family.
Mm-hmm. And the client too, in seeing that, they may be viewing that, oh, the
Gives them
person
a
is
great peace
wiping
of
down,
mind.
they're cleaning the items
Yes,
before, after use. So it makes them more comfortable. And who knows, they might, even in this time, as I said, the individuals who still need it for health reasons, they'll
correct.
be more likely to refer you to their friend or their family because they will say,
Exactly.
oh, therapist Rhonda is very clean, she's very stringent on her cleaning. We can see her
Mhm.
cleaning. So that's another good point to note. So as Rhonda mentioned, I know at the client's location, we have to avoid shaking hands with the clients or hugging. That is we're getting used to.
Definitely taking some getting used to it. And our, as my daughter says, in the Hugger Monster Republic,
The hugger monster, I like
everybody
that.
is here, you get them a hug, you get them a bounce, you shake hands. That's just how we were raised. So now we actually have to relearn our interaction protocols.
Yeah. So what about post house call? Any things that we want to
Yeah, I mean,
share
we're post
protocol
house
wise?
call now. After we leave the client's house, immediately upon returning home, for me, ideally, everything goes into the wash. I spray my case, wipe it down before I pack it back into the house or into the
Your
treatment
case meaning
area.
you're carrying case for your table, right?
Yes,
Okay. Or your
carrying
chair
case to the
if they're doing
table.
a chair
Even
massage.
my bag that I take with my stuff, that gets
Yes.
sprayed down,
Yes.
sanitized. Depending on the time of day, I leave it outside in the sun just to make sure that it dries properly, because you don't want to like spray it and put it in a corner and then it gets into the fabric. So I spray it and I leave it outside so it air dries properly. um I have to, after I wipe down everything, put everything in the machine, when I get inside, I go straight to the bathroom, change clothes, then remove the mask, and then I shower, totally decontaminate, and then I interact with my family.
Okay.
So
You
there's no chance of me bringing anything home and transferring it to my loved ones.
just a quick question. You said you're putting things in your wash machine. You're not putting your carrying case for your
No,
equipment, right?
not the
It's
case,
your
not the bag,
clothing. We're
and
talking about your
not my
clothing.
clothes that I
I
had
just
on from
I
the appointment. So the linens, everything, that
right.
goes into the wash immediately. So the towels, the sheets, the bolster coverings, pillowcases, anything that I've used, that goes straight into the washing machine. And the load right after that is going to be my clothes that I keep separate from my regular street clothes or my family's clothes. That
Right.
goes into a little bin at the side of the machine, and that is normally the load right after, when those things go into the dryer. And
Right.
everything is, with me, once it comes out of the dryer, it's folded, they're put into individual bags. So like a Ziploc bag. So when I go to the client and I pull that out, it is everything I need to set at the table in that one bag that has come from the dryer, that is clean, that goes on the table, and then I spray it with the rubber alcohol.
And it's also important to note that for those of us who have vehicles, when you are finished doing your cleaning, you change your clothes when you get home and you go and bathe, shower, whatever it has to do, you have to do. Make sure and go and sanitize inside your car. So you have your
Correct.
seatbelt that would have been across you,
Correct.
your seatbelt buckle, everything that you would have touched, the whatever you would have
High touch areas,
remember
correct.
touching
As well
during your
as the
drive.
trunk area where you would have put in the table and the carrying
Right.
case and the bag, all there. You make sure and you spray sanitize,
That
wipe
is
down the
correct.
hard surfaces, etc.
Yeah.
To make sure that you have not taken anything home
Yeah.
from, going out and doing your appointment.
I believe we've covered all the protocols. If we forgot any, you would just point out that camp members camp rather, has been encouraging therapists to do.
Right.
Yeah.
And for those of you who don't know what CAMP is the Caribbean Association for Bodywork Practitioners, for massage and bodywork practitioners. So the Caribbean Association for Massage and Bodywork Practitioners. All right,
And
you can check, you can go onto Facebook and go onto our page.
What's the
During
page?
our virtual Massage Awareness Week, there are going to be quizzes, information, videos, etc. going out on the Facebook page.
Right.
We're going to get to know a couple of our therapists a lot better. So definitely tune into that after you watch the video.
Yeah. Well, Rhonda, for sure, I've enjoyed chatting with you because, as I said, I really haven't seen you in months in person.
Yes,
So it's been lovely seeing you.
Yes.
Lovely seeing you. And
this event is normally an event where we go out and we meet new clients. We go to different places and actually share a massage. This is definitely an adjustment for all of us, for the people who normally look forward for us coming to them to interact, to get a sample massage, interact with the therapist. So this is us trying to maintain our interaction with you, even though we can't reach out and touch you.
Yes, not physically touch you, unless we're getting work done by you.
Correct.
And for those of us, or for those of the viewers who are non-CAMP members and are interested in becoming CAMP members, you can contact, I believe you will see a contact information on the website for either the president or the general secretary, and you can contact them and get information as to how do we join CAMP.
Correct.
So we will welcome you when you do join. Welcome you to our organization. I don't want to say establishment, but organization.
All right. Well, I think that's it for us. Thank you for watching our video. And we hope you stick around from today on to next week, Saturday. We are going to be here providing you with updates on therapists, on CAMP, on bodywork practitioners. We're going to be doing tips, etc. So please stay with us for the week. Come on back every day for new things.
The 24th to the 31st of October. So this has been our protocol sharing with Kanta, me, and Rhonda.
Rhonda Wilson.
Yes. So have a blessed week ahead of you, everyone, and continue to be safe with everything we do.
All right. Bye.
Bye.